This may be the weirdest top 10 list I have made, but today officially marks 2 years since I released my Guild Wars 2 in 2022, a fan-made trailer, where I've been messing around with making YouTube videos on various channels for nearly 10 years now, but the release of that video marks the start of me uploading a minimum of 1 video a week. And today, I want to look back on the last 2 years of videos and go over my top 10 favorite Guild Wars 2 videos on my channel. So let's get started. In the number 10 spot is Top 10 Trees in Guild Wars 2, where my Top 10 in Guild Wars 2 series is currently the main series that I have been uploading on my channel, and I have had so much fun releasing all of these videos and highlighting my favorite aspects of Guild Wars 2, from big to small, important to unimportant, known to the unknown. And trees are one of my favorite parts about our real life world, and they are also one of my favorite parts about any fantasy world, so it just made a lot of sense to make this video. And there are so many different trees in Guild Wars 2, from super important lore ones to absolutely gorgeous ones to ones that just have a ton of fun details. When we look across the world of Tyria, there's just a lot to choose from. And because of that, this is probably one of the hardest videos I have made when it comes to finalizing a script. There are just so many trees in the game and I love them all, where it was super difficult to decide what my favorite ones are. But after a long time of thinking, I did eventually finalize my script, and I still feel the same about all those trees being my favorites in the game. But as a result of this long process, combined with the vast amounts of trees in Guild Wars 2, this video likely has the longest honorable mentions list I have had in any top 10 video thus far. Where when I was making that video, I knew I wanted to make this video, so I decided I want to celebrate all the other incredible trees in Guild Wars 2 that I had on that honorable mentions list as some of the extra footage of this video, like at the start of each section. In the number 9 spot is an overview of mounts in Guild Wars 2. This is one of my oldest videos since I've started uploading again, and this is the most successful one in terms of views that I have ever uploaded, where I am definitely inclined to like this video more than others for that reason, but I think I really appreciate those views because I do genuinely believe that this video is really good. It is one of my oldest ones, so the quality is definitely lacking compared to my newer stuff, but I still definitely think it holds up to this day, where this video as a whole was super foundational for my channel because I learned a lot from that video, and a lot of the styles and formatting I used in that video are ones I still use to this day. But the topic of this video is mounts in Guild Wars 2, where I generally consider Guild Wars 2 to have the single greatest mount system in all of gaming, and that is an idea that a lot of people believe, where the idea of Guild Wars 2 mounts is a very well known thing in other gaming communities because people are always talking about them, and with how many developers are trying to implement systems similar to Guild Wars 2 mounts to varying degrees of success. Where when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, it makes a lot of sense that this video did well, since it's probably the second or third most talked about idea related to Guild Wars 2, right next to whether or not the game is dead, as well as general news. And I also have a ton of external views from people linking my video on various gaming forums and discords to talk about Guild Wars 2 mounts in relation to their own game. Where additionally, I had a short Reddit conversation with someone claiming to be a developer for the upcoming Riot MMO who was doing market research. So I suppose there is a chance that this video influences what will likely be a major game release. In the number 8 spot is the story of the Forsaken Thicket. This is my first ever story video for Guild Wars 2, which I consider to be my second biggest series right after my top 10 lists, where I haven't been able to get a lot of work done on these videos recently, but I am hoping to do more in the future. But this video is just a perfect combination of so many different things for me, where I think Guild Wars 2 has a lack of lore and story content creators, partially because there is not a huge demand for this type of content, but I definitely wanted to make videos I care about in my own style. Where the story of the Forsaken Thicket is just hands down a great story. It is a phenomenal raid with incredible characters, bosses, environments, and story beats, where it is indeed a raid, which means that a large chunk of Guild Wars 2 players haven't experienced it for a variety of reasons. Where making a story video related to a raid provides a resource for those who don't want to raid to still experience the story. I will say, going back and watching this video again makes me cringe a little bit because the quality of the audio and visuals are pretty bad, but I do think the writing still holds up today. But this video is super unique because it is the only video on my channel that was reacted to by a bigger channel, where there's a lot of moral gray area and unethical issues we could chat about when it comes to reaction YouTubers and whatnot. But Preach, who is a pretty well known MMO content creator, reacted to this video on his stream that was then uploaded to YouTube while he was trying out Guild Wars 2, where I don't think he liked it a lot, but I also don't think he disliked it, so I'm going to call that a win. But nevertheless, it was super cool to see a bigger content creator watch one of my tiny little videos. In the number 7 spot is my Guild Wars 2 in 2022, a fan-made trailer. I have already talked about this video because it is the video that basically sparked me regularly uploading videos in the last 2 years, where this video released 2 years ago today. And while I used to upload a ton of videos in the past, most of which are deleted or private now, this video kind of feels like the start of my YouTube journey, where I created this video for a video creation competition ran by Guild Wars 2 Guild, where I won 5th place and got 1000 gold as well as a few other items, which is pretty cool. Alongside that, this is currently the second most viewed video on my channel, so it's a little extra special just for being that. And overall, I do like the video a lot. I'm someone who absolutely loves trailers for video games, and I'm also someone who enjoys being creative, where this video allowed me to combine the two ideas together to make a creative trailer idea, where I've made some more trailers since this one, a couple I wish I am more proud of, where I'm really wanting to make some more in the future because I really enjoy making this style of video. In the number 6 spot is my top 10 hidden areas in Guild Wars 2 video, where this is another top 10 video which is part of my main series right now, and this video is actually the 3rd video I released in the series, with bosses and maps being the 1st and 2nd. And as of writing this video, this is my most popular video out of all my top 10 videos, and this is also my 3rd most popular video across my entire channel, where hidden areas are one of my favorite aspects of Guild Wars 2 and of gaming in general, where I love exploring fantasy worlds, looking at all the different nooks and crannies, and discovering secrets that most people just pass by. The world of Tyria is filled to the brim with these, and I have a selection that I absolutely love, so I enjoyed making this video a lot. Where overall, I think this video had 3 major impacts on my channel. The first is how it is one of my first top 10 videos, which are videos that I am still creating to this day. The second is how it is highlighting hidden areas in Guild Wars 2, which has kind of created a mini series in my top 10 series. I created this video talking about my favorite 10, but I have also made 2 additional videos just highlighting other random hidden areas found throughout the game, where I am obviously planning on making more and more in the future. Then finally, this is a video that is focusing on the aspect of hidden areas and secrets in gaming, in this case being Guild Wars 2, which is an idea that I have been slowly moving my channel towards as of late, and is something that I want to continue doing in the future. In the number 5 spot is the story of Caudicus Beetlestone. This is one of the most recent story videos that I have released for Guild Wars 2, and it relates to one of the coolest villains in the game, Caudicus Beetlestone. This is an individual who has played a major part in the story from vanilla Guild Wars 2 all the way to his death in Living World Season 3, and in the context of him being a villain, I have loved this character a lot throughout my time playing the game, and it was incredibly cathartic to beat him in Season 3. The video itself is basically a documentary style video of his life, where I went over everything, and I really enjoyed how I formatted and presented this video. Alongside that, a major aspect of this video is how it documents the dungeon stories. We're showcasing the raid and dungeon stories, something that I have been wanting to do since I created my Story of the Forsaken Thicket video, and I am now getting kinda close to the end of that journey. I'm someone who has always loved stories in video games, and I am never afraid to watch cutscenes. But a lot of people feel pressured to skip cutscenes in multiplayer games as to not annoy other people, and I am happy that I was able to get all the cutscenes from the story of Caudicus' Manor so I could include them in this video. In the number 4 spot is the story of the Bastion of the Penitent. This was the first video that I released in 2023, and is basically the sequel to my Story of the Forsaken Thicket video, as this video is covering the 4th raid wing in the game, where this is the first video on my channel where I started to learn a lot more about the quality of graphics in videos, and as such, it was a tremendous help to all my other videos. I just think it's fun to go back and rewatch some of my older videos to see how they have improved, because this video is significantly better than the ones that came before it, but significantly worse than the ones that I have recently released, where I am excited to look back on this video and feel proud of how far I have come since releasing this. But the content of the Bastion of the Penitent was phenomenal. This is my favorite raid story in Guild Wars 2, with my favorite boss across all of Guild Wars 2. The story, the environment, the graphics, the art, the environmental storytelling, the voice acting, the cinematics, the boss designs, the graphics, and everything else about this raid is phenomenal. And I am so happy that I was able to encapsulate that within a story video, where there are many aspects of this raid that a lot of people miss without exploring, and I am happy that I could showcase that. I am also happy with how I was able to incorporate the stories from the original Guild Wars into this video with Zod Delesio, and how incredible and heartbreaking his story is. Where just overall, I love this video a lot. In the number 3 spot is the Shadow of the Mad King trailer. I bet most people watching this video haven't seen this fan trailer that I made, because it didn't get much attention when it released, and it still hasn't gotten a lot in the time after it released. But I honestly love this video a lot, and it's probably the video on my channel that I rewatched the most. This is another one of those trailer videos similar to my initial 2022 fan trailer, but this time focused on the Shadow of the Mad King Festival, where I got super creative with this video and I wanted to try a few different things. The video is basically two halves. The first part is a story being told about an agent of the Mad King that is going around Tyria and murdering people before returning to his king, where the second part is an overview of some of the fun assets and cool activities present in the Shadow of the Mad King Festival before it eventually tied back together to the first half. And I just really enjoyed the format of this video and the story that I told in it, and I really want to do a lot more stuff like that in the future because I just had so much fun with it. I also tried out a few new editing techniques with this trailer, which I think turned out great and also expanded my knowledge of editing. In the number 2 spot is the story Apollo and Joko. This is my favorite story video that I have released on my channel so far, and it's largely due to just how phenomenal of a character Apollo Ojoko is. I documented his entire history from his early years that we know little about, to the events that happened before the original Guild Wars, to the events and cinematics during the original Guild Wars, to the events that happened between Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, and then finally the events and cinematics up to and including his death in Guild Wars 2. There's just a lot of story about this character, and for good reason, because he is one of the best villains and bosses across the entire Guild Wars universe. I had so much fun creating this video and putting everything together in a chronological order that gives a full sense of who this character is and why he is so cool. Where it is always fun to be interacting with Apollo Ojoko, so it was definitely fun to go out and collect the footage related to him. I also really enjoyed connecting the stories from the original Guild Wars to the stories of Guild Wars 2, so it was a lot of fun to be able to run around old Tyria and relate it to modern day Tyria. Especially since most people who watch my videos have never played the original Guild Wars before, so that's providing some context and stories to people experiencing Guild Wars 2's story who may not fully understand that context and those stories. But now for the number 1 spot, for my favorite Guild Wars 2 video that I have released on my channel thus far, and it actually goes to top 10 rocks in Guild Wars 2. I feel like this is definitely a weird video to be my favorite since it is a video talking about rocks, but that is a part of why I love it so much. When we look at the video itself, it is a pretty recent video, so it is definitely a lot better on paper compared to some of my older content, where I experimented with a few different things in this video that I liked a lot, and I actually learned quite a few things during that process. But it is the content of that video that really makes it my favorite because it truly encapsulates everything that I love about video games, and specifically Guild Wars 2. Rocks come off as a dumb idea, but it is honestly such an intricate topic with many different things to talk about. We talked about cool rocks, we talked about hidden mechanics that add a ton of flair to the world, we talked about raid fights, we talked about a variety of enemies, we talked about jumping puzzles, and we talked about so many other rocks, including a rock that may be one of the greatest pieces of item-based storytelling in any video game ever. And I just love all of this. I love talking about the stories of fantasy worlds, I love talking about secrets hidden throughout those worlds, and I love talking about random intricacies that are honestly super cool but tend to be glossed over by the average player. It's just everything about this video came together perfectly and made it my favorite video that I have released on my channel thus far. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed. This is definitely a super weird topic, but I just wanted to take a moment to celebrate all the videos I have made over the past couple of years and also give some acknowledgement about my old videos from my childhood. If you're interested in watching any of these videos, I have them all linked down in the description with a couple that are on your screen right now. I hope you are taking good care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.